Can y'all hear me, Sam? I can't hear y'all. Mm-mm. I can read your lips. I can't hear you though. Let me try to go out and come back in. Let me try to get on my phone maybe. I still can't hear y'all. No. No. I'm on the live too, Keisha. I can't even hear you on the YouTube live either. I just went on my computer on the YouTube live. I can't hear y'all on there either. I hear me, but not y'all.
That's the one.
Okay, I hear you now, Keisha.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
I hear an echo. All right. Well, we're gonna keep it like this. If I start hearing feedback, then we'll look at something else. Let me go ahead and feed this to the page. So they'll know, and then we'll get started.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey, Sam, how you?
good. How you?
I'm good.
Okay. Let me get back so I can see their questions. And we're good. You still can hear us, right?
I can hear y'all. Can you hear me?
All right. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, welcome to our YouTube channel. I am Keisha with Keto Coaching with Keisha. Before we do anything else, please hit that subscribe button. So every time we have any kind of discussions or anything or post new information, you'll be one of the first people to hear about it. As you guys know, every week we're doing weekly sessions now. We're trying to think of ways to make this an easier lifestyle for you guys. And one of the things we thought about was we can't leave the young people out. Young people keto too. And so today I have with me Samantha and PJ, who have done an amazing job, both of them on keto. And they're young and they are still social and everything. So I want them both to introduce themselves, tell you guys who they are, their age, how long they've been on keto, their how much weight they lost or size they've come down. And then, oh, someone says they have a lot of questions. So we got some good stuff going. And then we're going to ask some questions that we want to talk about with you guys on how it is being social when probably most people your age really aren't thinking about healthier lifestyles. So PJ, we'll let you go first and then we'll let Samantha go.
Okay, well, I'm PJ Walker. I am 24 years old. I was born and raised in Winsboro, South Carolina, and I just moved to North Dakota about a little over a year ago. And I started keto maybe 2 or 3 months after I moved here, actually. So it's been a little bit over a year now since I've been doing keto. I lost about 63 pounds. My biggest size, I was wearing like a 3X in shirts, and now I'm extra large, maybe a 2X, depending on how it's made. And then pants, I used to wear like a 52, 50, and now I'm wearing a 44 or 46. So, yeah.
Great job, PJ. Do you have a lot of people comment? Because those of you who don't know, PJ is actually on the air. He's an anchor at a news station. So have your the fans there, have they noticed your, I'm sure they have, because it's a huge difference from when you first started.
Yeah. Before I was seeing it myself, people, would comment and write in and say, oh, your face is getting smaller, or, things like that. And then when they see you in public, because they say, the camera adds 10 pounds, like, oh,
Right.
A lot different than what I thought you would in person. So yeah, they definitely noticed even before I noticed.
Okay. Well, Samantha, tell us your story.
Hello, my name is Samantha Chaplin. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Blair, South Carolina. And I started keto about a year and a half ago. I was in my freshman year of college. I'm from a very small town called Blair, from Fairfield County. So there's not a lot of restaurants, not a lot of places to eat at. So when I got to college and I seen there was a Chick-fil-A with a class and there was a taco truck outside my apartment and all these other restaurants on campus.
Oh, and then you had a meal swipe card that you could just go to, right?
That too. So I was kind of excited about all the food and I ate whatever I wanted because I had my meal swipe. I didn't have to pay for it technically because it didn't come out of my pocket. So I ate and ate and ate, and instead of gaining the freshman 15, I gained the freshman 50. So I went to a size 14, and I was kind of pushing out of them, not really pushing out of them, but they were kind of tight. But that's when I decided I tried some detox drinks, and those are detox drinks that I sell at the shop now. And they worked kind of, but they didn't keep the weight off because I didn't change the way I was eating. So that's when I decided to start keto, and I've lost more than 50 pounds now. I'm in a size 4 now. So I went from size 14 to a size 4, and I've really enjoyed my journey. It's one of the best decisions I ever made.
Cool. And for those of you who don't know, Samantha is my daughter. And now Samantha did do, oh yeah, you can't tell. Samantha did do keto briefly in high school when I first started. And it was just to get in her prom dress. And after prom was done, so was her keto journey. And even when I saw her gaining the weight after she was in college, you know, it was hard looking at, because I saw my daughter basically repeating some of the same things I had done. And I do remember when, right before she went to college, I had a conversation with her and I said, you know, Samantha, you know, not trying to fuss or anything, just want you to be, you know, pay attention to your eating habits, because when you look at both sides of your family, it just isn't in your genes to stay this size without some work. And that was all I said. And after she started gaining weight, I never said anything to her. I didn't mention it to her, didn't push her to do keto. It was her own, it was she came to it on her own. And sometimes when I hear her talking now, oh my goodness, I'm like, oh my, look, listen at mini me. You're just enabling them. I'm like, oh wow, that is definitely my kid. And I felt bad when she started gaining weight, because Lord, y'all know I didn't cook before keto. I didn't even own pots and pans. So those eating habits that she took into college were those same habits that I had taught her growing up, all unhealthy. And I felt so bad as a parent. But then I knew the other side of it, that, you know, it telling somebody that they're gaining weight is hard. You know, we don't like hearing that. So I didn't say anything. But anyway, PJ, one of the things, and when PJ and Samantha, one of the things I often think about when it comes to young people, of course, my age, even if people aren't eating healthy at my age, it's still on our minds, because health, you know, becomes an issue when we're getting older. For you guys, you know, health isn't pretty much on our minds at that age. But how do you feel when you're going out and you're around friends who are eating the French fries, the burgers with the bun, the real pizza? You know what I'm saying? How do you guys feel when you're out? And do your friends, have they really embraced you with this lifestyle?
You want to go first, Aaron, or me?
You can go.
You know, at first I was a little judgmental when I first started doing keto and I first started losing weight and stuff. And I'm like, so every now and then I'll say, look, y'all, y'all might want to, put that fry down or put this down or put that down. But, I know that I was in the same position at one time. I didn't know everything about keto. I didn't know what I was doing to my body, basically. So it took me some time to get to that point. So I try not to be too judgmental, because I know it, I was in the same position at one time, but I do try to educate them and let them know, I just snippets here and there. But yeah, my friends, they support me. They know if they come over here, sometimes I'll cook something that's non-keto just for them, but any other time, everything is keto. You better bring your own ranch over here, because I got, a certain type of ranch. Drinks, because I only got Gatorades and ice drinks. So but yeah, they even go out to the restaurant, they say, oh, you can't have this, or you want to try this, and I'm like, oh no, you can't have that. So I think they know too, and it's been over a year now, so they know not to play when it comes to keto, and I don't play about food,
Right. Samantha, what about you?
Well, for me, it was kind of the opposite. I wasn't really judgmental of my friends, just because I know, they weren't aware of the effects of whatever we put into their body. But they were judgmental of me, just because I was so young and I was, putting my health first. And it's something like older people do. Instead of, they say you're young, you don't have to worry about that right now. So they were kind of judgmental of me at first, but then when they realized, you can't talk me out of this, you can't peer pressure me out of making a bad decision, then they got used to it. So now my friends, if most times they don't even bring their own food over, they want me to cook them keto stuff. They want my honey bun cakes and the pizzas and all those kind of things. But yeah, I wasn't really judgmental at first, because I decided this is my own path. I made this decision for myself, and I didn't want to force that on anybody, because you don't really want to force anyone into a decision. It's because it's not really their own then. Right.
Yeah.
What about you, PJ? Because I know, of course, Samantha's with me, so I know her friends eat everything we have. Like, it doesn't matter. They will eat anything that's keto, and they're usually excited. Do you find that your friends are the same way? That they
Yeah,
want you to cook keto foods?
yeah. Sometimes, like when I cook desserts, they'll want to try it, and like, oh, this isn't too bad. It tastes the same. Or I'll go and get like a Lily's chocolate bar or something from the
Hmm.
store, and the keto gummies, I'll get those and I'll take them to work and let them try it. And I'm like, oh, I can deal with this. This isn't too bad. So, like for me, everything tastes good to me because I'm used to it, And I guess it does take a little adjusting to when you first start,
Right.
but yeah.
Well, what about your parents? How have they reacted to your journey? Because they have pretty much watched you transform from afar. And, y'all, PJ is an only child, and his parents love him to death, which he is a good kid, though. So what has been their reaction with you deciding to go to a healthier lifestyle? And I mean, because you've lost a lot of weight, and they've kind of watched from afar while you're doing this.
Well, just like everyone else who don't know about keto, they think, oh, it's just another diet, or, oh, you shouldn't do it for too long, this and that,
Right.
third. And look, Mom, I went to the doctor. The doctor, is on keto himself. He does it. And, I even try to, I'm like, look, I should take Keisha class. You got this and this and this wrong and stuff like that. But they have been supportive. I think that I'm happy and that I'm healthy. And those are the two main things I think that they are they're good with. So yeah, but they've been supportive. I went home, I think last Christmas, and they were asking, what do I need to go grocery shopping for you? What do you want me to buy you? I get you certain stuff if you need it in the house. But yeah, they've been pretty supportive though.
Well, that's good. So, speaking of health, because we all often don't think of health issues that can be reversed a lot of times when it comes to, young people. But I know that keto has helped both of you reverse some things with your health, some things we wouldn't think about. PJ, you want to share yours first?
Yeah. So let me just go back a little. I hated going to the doctor because I was afraid of what the doctor would tell me, Oh, because I knew I was, bigger than other people, for my age and just in general. So I was scared to go to the doctor to hear them say, oh, you have this or you have that. So when I did go to the doctor, when I first got to North Dakota, maybe a few months before I started keto, he said, we want to watch you for high blood pressure. We want to watch you, you're borderline diabetic. Your A1C is, through the roof, just all these things. I'm like, this is the reason I did not want to
Right.
go. And so then, I went to the doctor, I think a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know you say it all the time, Keisha, but literally everything reversed. Like, he said, he was shocked. He was shocked at the numbers. He was shocked at the numbers. And he said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And yeah, my A1C is normal now. I'm not, borderline diabetic. My good cholesterol is good. Bad cholesterol is good. Like everything is just perfect. So a complete 180, which is,
Wow.
I knew, but it like when I hear the doctor say it, a professional say it, I'm like, okay, I can handle this.
Right. Right. And Samantha, it reversed a couple of things in you. Um, I don't even know if you consider those as health things,
I
though.
think I do.
Okay.
So ever since I was little, I've had really bad allergies. Like we were in the doctor's office every single spring getting me some
Right.
prescription and getting some over the counter stuff. And sometimes the prescriptions didn't work or they didn't help. My body got used to Zyrtec, so Zyrtec wasn't working anymore. Claritin didn't work at all. And I get on keto and I barely even sneeze now. Like I used to be scared to go outside when I seen pollen in the air, and like it didn't affect me this year at all. Um, I had really bad eczema, and that was a result of my allergies. Like we tried ointments prescribed by the doctors, over the counter things, cortisol. None of that worked.
The dermatologist.
No, none of that worked at all. But I still even have the scars on my arm from the eczema. That's how bad it was. But I don't get any flare ups now. I had psoriasis, and like to the point where I would wake up and I would find a new spot. So, but now in my year and a half of being on keto, I've maybe had 1 to 3 spots of psoriasis, and acne. I don't have any acne. I don't have any acne now. And we were in the dermatologist for that as well.
Right.
But I don't have any acne now.
What would you guys tell young people who would be hesitant to go on this lifestyle, or they aren't thinking about, you know, being healthy at this point because they don't think that it really matters? Because y'all know we're often reactive when it comes to health instead of being proactive. What would you tell young people who would want to do this as a lifestyle, but they are hesitant to do so?
I would say start now. I mean, and even if you don't start directly now, do your research. You know, look at your
Right.
family. There's this guy that works with me, and he's in his 50s, and he's saying that he wants to have, you know, the surgery to lose weight, but the doctor is saying that it's basically at the point where it's too late. He's, you know, too old. You know, he's just too heavy to do it. And he's at
Right.
risk. Can't even do it. So start now. I mean, like you said, before keto, I was not taking my health serious at all. I'm just going through day to day. Oh, it's just this honey bun. It's just this cheeseburger. It'll be okay. And now, you know, seeing how I've reversed things and seeing other people who are on keto and how they reverse older people, you know, I think it's easier to do it now than, you know, when you get older, you can do it, but I think it's easier to do it now and you won't do your body as much harm.
Right. I would say do it now as well. I've always been a person to think about my legacy young. So this is something I definitely want to pass down to my children. I think about, you know, my legacy every single day. So I make conscious decisions every single day to have a better life for them. So that's something I want to pass down to my children. Also, the broke college children out there, this is one of the best decisions you can ever make because I can literally eat one meal a day.
Right.
And eating 3 broke college kids meals a day costs more than eating 1 meal a day. So it's better for your pockets, it's better for your health, it's better for your mental. Before I started keto, honestly, my attention span was so short, I couldn't even get through 1 page. Like I couldn't, that's how short my focus was. I couldn't read 1 page in my textbook. But now I can sit down and read a whole book. So it makes you focus more. So it's definitely been so much better for my academics. But other than that, I just think it's another form of self-love, and I think that's something that you should learn young. Not only just like telling yourself you love yourself every day, but like showing yourself you love yourself every day.
And I'm glad you brought that up about the expense, because often a lot of people think that, especially people in college, can't do this because it's a lot more expensive. But what they don't understand is once you become or get into keto after a few weeks, it's actually a lot cheaper because we don't eat nowhere near as much as we used to eat, and we're full and we're satisfied. So like you said, we're very comfortable with eating 1 to 2 meals a day and no snacks, and we're good. Like we're not hungry at all. I know one of the things, so if you are a college student, one of the things that we had to do when Samantha first started, because she was on the campus of USC, we went around and kind of highlighted, okay, this is what you can eat, because we had to purchase those meal swipes, and yeah, you want to use those meal swipes. And so we went around and basically decided what was a good option, a good keto option everywhere she went. And her friends, after, like she said, she became fat adapted, her friends probably enjoyed, because a lot of her meals on her meal card, she ended up giving away because she couldn't even eat them all. So it is cheaper in the long run, you know, after a few weeks to do that.
I want to add something specifically for the college students. I know that this is a very hard time during the virus, and you still have your studies, and you basically teaching yourself. And I know a lot of people are going through some depression and some anxiety, and keto is a mood stabilizer, and it's one of the things that's helped me a lot. But it's definitely a mood lifter. You'll be so much happier, and it instills so much confidence and self-esteem in yourself. The fact that you can stick to something and be so consistent when it is healthy for you. And even regardless of what people have to say or what people think about you, you're still doing it. That makes you feel so much better about yourself.
That sounds just like my kid.
Keisha Jr. Keisha Jr.
It really does. What would you say to the naysayers? Because we have a lot of those. So if you've been confronted with opposition from people who telling you, well, no, you shouldn't do that. It's totally unhealthy. Y'all eat a lot of fat. It is not healthy for you to do. How do you guys deal with that part of it?
Mind business.
I tell them, look, call the doctor. Look, my doctor says okay for me. That's all I need to know. And I tell them, like, the numbers don't lie. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
I keep going back to the numbers do not lie. You know, high blood pressure gone. You know, good cholesterol perfect, bad cholesterol perfect, and A1C is perfect. Like, how can you argue with that? You know, like, you can't.
Right.
You can't argue with that. So that's what I tell them. I say, look, it worked for me. When you're ready to try, you go talk to your doctor or whoever, and then, you know, if you
Right.
need to get there, then hey, I'm here.
Yep. It's crazy. I actually, that was my rebuttal. In the beginning, I didn't have one. Because, you know, it hadn't proven itself to be that at that point. But now, you know, when people, I always come, my comeback is always, according to my blood work, I'm the healthiest I've been since my teen years. You can't argue with that. So, and you know, when we talk, that's actually has convinced a lot of doctors to say it was okay, because we can't argue with blood work. I can sit here and tell you that this is unhealthy all day long. Well, yeah, you need to not do that. By the way, your blood work is perfect. Wait, that doesn't make sense. So, yeah, it actually has proven itself. Well, tell us, what are some things like when you guys go out to eat, because you're still social. So you still have friends, you still go out. And often, a lot of times, people think that, oh, my life stops when I get on keto. We can't be social. We can't attend functions and those things like that. I'm like, who said that? So how do you handle social situations being on keto with young people? Now, granted, I understand we're not doing a lot of social things right now, but both of you were on keto before the pandemic started. So you were still going out and doing things like that. So how did you handle that?
You go ahead.
So I really like chicken, and I will eat wings. I'm not the type of person that can't eat the meal over and over again. And I love wings. I love wings so much. So I eat that anywhere. I can look at a menu and make a keto meal out of anything. Like if we go to Applebee's, I get the burger street chicken and shrimp. I don't like mushrooms. I take mushrooms off. Instead of the potatoes, I get broccoli and cheese. Or when we go to Five Guys, I get a lettuce wrap burger. Or we can order from Eddie's and get 50-cent wings on Wednesdays. Like, so I can make a keto meal anywhere. So it's no issue with me.
Yeah.
Especially I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Especially since I had to use my meal swipe. And there's like no keto restaurant or keto menu at USC campus. So I had to scrap a meal together. And so it kind of trained me to make a meal out of anything.
Yeah, because let's be clear, I made that certain that she understood. Look, you're gonna have to use these meal swipes when she first started. What about you, PJ? Because even when you started, you were not only new to a lifestyle, you were new to the area, and meeting new friends and all of that. And were you still able to find that you were socializing okay and going out?
Yeah. Like Sam said, I know what even if it's got to be a meat and a vegetable, I'm fine with that. So there's nothing that you can't have, at a restaurant. Well, there's nothing not non-keto at a restaurant. There's something.
Right.
Protein and vegetable, and even when it comes to like drinking vodka, soda, water, and I take my Mio everywhere with me. Even like because the sweet tea up here is awful. So I got a little sweet tea Mio, and I take that with me everywhere I go. I got to keep one in the car, one in my book bag, up in the house. But yeah, it's easy. Once you start doing it, you like to eat the same thing. I'm like, look, this is what's gonna get me by, so I can get home and make what I want, or I can get to a place that has exactly what I want. So breakfast, whatever. It's you just got to keep it simple sometimes.
Now, what about exercising? I know one of you exercises a lot. One of you do not. Um, so talk about that. Because I know you have, and you've really been motivating me. I actually did go buy a jump rope, so I do pay attention to the things you post. So how has working out been, and do you find that your trainer supportive of your lifestyle? Because sometimes they aren't.
Yeah. I didn't start working out until a few months ago, actually. So it was,
Right.
I hit a year. I kind of saw I was, I lost weight, but I kind of saw I was slowing down with losing weight. I know where I wanted to be. So I said, let me go to the gym and kick it up a notch. So I don't have a trainer personally. It's just me and
Okay.
my friend. We make little
Okay.
workouts like that. But I mean, I'm still see myself losing not even weight, but inches. So like
Mhm.
clothes that I bought when I first started going to the gym a few months ago, I can't even wear them anymore. They're falling off me. So yeah, but I before I even started keto, I was just, tired. I didn't have any energy. Even when I tried to go to the gym, I was just sluggish, didn't want to do it. You get off from work, you want to come straight home, go to bed. And now I'm texting my friend, look, you ready to go to the gym? Look, I'm ready to go. But yeah, it working out and it just makes you feel good,
Right.
So being healthy, it just makes you feel good.
And I'm telling you, on that note, keto energy is everything. Regardless of what anybody thinks, oh my goodness, the energy level, it is just crazy. I often have people who ask, how do you work? Because y'all know I'm a little bit of a workaholic, a little bit, just a little bit. And they ask, how do you do that? I'm like, keto energy, there is no way I would be able to do what I do without it. I mean, because our energy levels are just crazy, through the roof, crazy amounts of energy. Patricia Gibson says that is wonderful. She applauds you guys for your accomplishments. And guys, I can see what you're asking. So if you have questions or anything you want to ask them, please make sure you chime in, and we will make sure that they get your questions and we will answer them. Now, the other one does not work out. And the thing is, our struggle with Samantha right now, or most of the time, is to keep her in a 4. So she's gone from a size 14 to a size 4.
I was
And
a size 2 at one point.
yeah, and so we struggle to keep her in a 4. Now, granted, I prepare most of her meals. So right. So of course they're strict keto. She doesn't eat out that much anymore. But I mean, we do eat out some, because we do, ever since the pandemic started, we continue to even order out at least once or twice a week to support the local economy. Um, so it's not like we just cook meals every day. But like she said, she only eats one or two meals. Well, Samantha, how has that been with you? Because Samantha went from a size of voluptuous 14, all the curves, to now she's a 4. How has that been? And before you answer, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I've heard this from young people before. Oh no, Miss Keisha, I need to keep my curves. The men like to see my curves, and so I want to keep my curves. So how has that been for you, going from the voluptuous 14 to now we struggle to keep her in a 4?
It was a journey. Just because I was used to being at that size. I mean, that my curves are genetic, so it runs in my family on both sides. I mean, I still have my curves. I'm just at a smaller size, but I had to learn to love myself at all sizes. Just because it was such a drastic change for me. Just because I was kind of that same size my whole life, even though I gained 50 pounds, I did not like that. But I was kind of like a size 10, kind of like my whole life, kind of around there, 8 or a 10. And to go from my usual 8 to a size 4, I had to just learn to love myself and tell myself that I'm beautiful no matter what size it is. But I would rather the size I love the most to be a healthy size and to be a size that I chose and not the size that comes with the food that I'm eating.
Mm.
Oh, I want to make a comment on the gym thing. So I did go to the gym before I did keto and after I did keto. Two completely different experiences. At first, I just decided the gym was wrong. The gym does not work. There's something wrong with it. It wasn't me at all, and that was just it. But a few months ago, before the pandemic started, we did get a gym membership at Planet Fitness, and I loved it. I'm really more of a weights person. That cardio, the cardio doesn't work. I don't like the cardio. That's not for Sam. Sam doesn't like it. That I don't like that. It's not fun. I don't like all the breaths. But the weights, that was fun. I had the energy to do that because of keto.
Yeah, and PJ jumps rope.
Oh no.
Yeah. And my doctor told me I should start lifting a little weight, so I've been trying to lift a little weight, but I ain't trying to be no muscle head. But yeah, I'm good with the cardio, Sam.
I don't like it. It's hard. I have to. I don't like not being able to breathe. That's not fun.
Well, the thing is, Samantha, it increases. So your ability to do it.
Yeah, but it's not there at first.
Yeah, because even when I was after keto, when I early this month when I did like a June or July challenge, the first day I started jumping rope, I had to do 200 jumps, and by 50 I was out of breath. I mean, out of breath. Now I can do like 100, 200 at a time. So like with anything, you just kind of build stamina as you keep going. So yeah, you
I'm
should
gonna try it.
Yeah, try it.
Yeah, once this virus goes away, I'm gonna get back in the gym. I was walking, and I was like increasing my speed every day I went, and that kind of got easier. So that was nice. Yeah, and then I was cycling, but then the pandemic came, and I don't play that. So I stopped
now
going.
that it is great weather, though, Samantha and I will be outside walking again. One of the other things I want to ask you, especially since the pandemic has come, we see a lot of people actually fell off. And I'm always saying, no, this is not the reason. Pandemic should not be a reason to fall off. That's every more the reason for you to stay on. Have you found it hard to stay on track during the pandemic?
No, I mean, because it's still, I go to the grocery store, I get my stuff, and I back home, and honestly, it's a little easier because now when I'm not going out to restaurants, I don't have to, think about what I'm gonna eat, or even if it's dirty keto, some wings or something like that. And I feel like I have more control over what I'm putting in my body now because I'm cooking it at home.
Gotcha.
I don't have that issue at all. I think some of the issues may come in when we're all stuck in the same house. But everyone in my house does keto, and Peter, you live by yourself?
Yeah, it's just me.
So we don't have any outside.
Well, that makes sense.
So like maybe if your husband not doing it and your kids not doing it, maybe you used to eating your breakfast and your lunch while you're at work, and those are your 2 meals for the day. It wasn't hard at the time. So I think maybe now is a good time to find time for yourself, and maybe you can find support and maybe have like a family meeting, because that works in our family. We love having family meetings. So maybe have a family meeting and discuss that and say you want some support, you want some, you want your people to support you a little bit more, and that will help you out.
That's a good point Samantha brought up, because I didn't really think about it like that. There aren't any challenges in this house. I mean, because the whole house is keto. Everything that comes in here is keto. One of her friends was staying with us for a little while, and it was like, oh no, don't bring that crap up in here, because I just can't stand to see anyone eating it. I feel like I'm just giving them the check sign to go give themselves a heart attack. But so that does make it a little bit easier, especially because you're by yourself, so there's no one else eating stuff in front of your face. But then you still go, well, I guess Samantha, you don't, because you work at the Keto Boutique, so you don't see, other. Right. But PJ, how is it hard for you when you're out or Samantha, you've been out with friends and they were eating everything else. Did you find it hard to stay on track when you were seeing all your friends eat all this stuff?
No, I honestly, and it may sound crazy to me, but I don't have a taste for it. Honestly, I mean,
Right.
you can put a honey bun in front of me, and a year ago, 2 years ago, I would eat 3 of them. You put it in front of me, okay, because I know that on keto, I think a lot of people think that they have to give up some of their favorite foods and things like that. But I mean, literally anything you can eat pre-keto, you can make it now. And it may
Right.
taste a little different, but like I said, to me, it tastes the same because that's all I eat, swerve and monk fruit sweetener and stuff like that. So, if they go out and they get some dessert, I'm like, okay, well, I have mine when I get home, or, I can get some ice cream when I get home, or, whatever. So no, I don't, it don't bother me at all.
It doesn't bother me either. I think the only thing that bothers me is because I was so addicted to it before I started keto. Before I started keto, I was a person that would eat all the bread. Like if we went to Outback and they bring the whole loaves of bread, I ate 3 of them before I got my meal. We go to Fats, I eat all the rolls. So if we go out to eat and like even if I smell the bread, it just does something. I don't like it. I don't like that feeling that like where I feel like I want to eat it. I don't like that feeling. So when I go out with my friends, we all make a conscious decision to tell the waiter don't bring the table to the bread just for me. So they don't eat the bread either just because I'm there.
And I'm the opposite. It makes me nauseous. Like, I mean, I can't just sitting here thinking about what it looks like makes me nauseous. So that's a good thing though. Woo. Praise God for growth.
No backslide.
Right. Yeah, I just can't anymore. Now, one of the other things I wanted to talk about with you guys were, do you see yourself doing this? Because you're pretty young. So for me saying I'm almost 48. I am 48. So I'm 48, close to 50. The thought of me doing this for the rest of my life is pretty much okay. But what about for you guys? Could you see yourself doing this for the rest of your life, adopting this as a lifestyle for your family, for your children? Would that be a doable thing to you?
Absolutely.
I think so. Yeah, I'm sticking with it. It's my lifestyle now.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing in my mind is just thinking about not even how I looked before, but how I feel. I think
Right.
that's the thing. Like, I mean, and it's crazy because I guess I just got so used to my knees hurting or my back hurting or stuff like that. So I thought it was normal. And then when I started keto, and I in my mind I know how I felt before, and to feel that relief and just to feel better, I would never want to go back to feeling how I was feeling before. Never.
Right. I'm the same way, and I think my turning point that made me want to start keto, before I started was I had to bend down and tie my shoe one day, and I had to move my knee out of the way because my stomach. So just that memory will never make me go back. I will never go back to what I was eating before. Also, this is something I definitely want to pass down to my children. Like I said, it's a very healthy lifestyle, and I want the best for my kids. And I just want them to have the best and happiest and healthiest life I can give to them.
Cool. Okay, so one last question, and then I'm going to let you guys close out. And don't forget, if you guys have questions, please make sure you post them, and then we'll ask them. The holidays are coming up. How do we find that we make it through holidays? Because we see a lot of people falling off track during the holidays. So how are you guys making it through the holidays? PJ, your experience will be much different from Samantha's because our family is keto.
Oh,
You know,
that's not what I was thinking.
oh, what were you thinking?
I figured you would make plates for the shop, and I would take one.
That's usually what happens too. Okay. Go ahead, PJ. How did you find getting through the holidays last year? With
Like I said earlier, like going out to eat, I keep it simple. I know I can have, ham or turkey, and
Right.
stuff like that. And I even had to make my own like sweets last year. So I was like, look, I'll bring, and that's another way I tried to like introduce my parents, my family to. I was like, well, I'll make this and you guys try it. And you may like it, you may not. If not, it's more for me. So yeah, when I came home last Christmas, it wasn't too hard for me, honestly. I was nervous about it though. I was nervous to see the sweet potato pies and pound cakes and the holiday punch and stuff. But like I said, it doesn't even bother me anymore because I just don't have for it. And like I say, keeping it simple, find the things. It's something on that table for Thanksgiving or Christmas that you can have that's keto. It's something. It's something you can have, and just stick to that,
And Samantha, like I said, Samantha's is a lot different because for our family, a good number of us are on keto. So any function we have, family dinners, there's always keto options. We always have both though, because we always have guests who aren't on keto. The crazy thing is the people who are on keto, we only eat the keto things. The people who aren't on keto, they eat both of them. So they eat everything we prepare for them, and then they eat all of ours too. And so we find that a lot of people really don't know the difference if you don't tell them. So they really can't tell unless you tell them. So what is your favorite keto meal?
Ooh, that's hard. I don't know, Sam. I gotta think about it. You go ahead, Sam. I gotta think.
I'm trying. I
It's a lot.
I think one of my favorite things to make, I had two. I call it burger salad, but I literally crush up hamburger patties, put my condiments that I want in it, my tomatoes, my pickles, all of that, everything that I would usually call my hamburgers, steak and bits, and stir it up, and it is so good. And last time I made it, I made some avocado fries and chopped those up and put them in there. And that's just one of my favorite things to eat. Another one would be keto potato salad. That's my favorite thing ever because it tastes exactly like it. But Haitian rice, keto Haitian rice, oh my god, it tastes just like regular Haitian rice. I just love cauliflower rice.
It sounds like you might just love keto because you just keep naming things. What about keto pizza?
I love pizza.
The one I made one time, I wasn't a fan of it, but I messed it up myself and I just never tried it again. But
which dough do you use?
I tried the cheesy bread, but I didn't really.
Oh, I'm not a fan of that one. Fathead. Fathead is life. Kid you not. Fathead pizza.
I'm gonna have to try it again. But breakfast, I like the cauliflower grits and salmon patties.
Ooh, I tried that for the first time. So good.
What?
In the casserole, cheeseburger casserole, that's my favorite. And then my dessert, my blueberry, my mixed berry cobbler, that's probably my favorite.
Oh, that looks good. The first time you made that, I was like, oh, PJ is doing it up over there.
I love sweets sweets and bread. That was my go-to. So if I can find stuff like that I found it on keto, I'm good. So yeah.
I know that was definitely mine. Now, were you a pasta lover too before keto?
I didn't have to have it. No, I didn't have to. I didn't have to have it.
That was us.
Yeah, I love pasta.
Man, everywhere we always pasta. Everything was always pasta, full of carbs. Pasta, and bring me some dessert too.
The zucchini noodles, I love zucchini.
Yeah, she liked the zucchini
I like
noodles.
the vegetable alternatives because I was never a vegetable person before I started keto. So just knowing that I'm eating vegetables and it tastes just like the regular thing, I love it. And it's free too. I mean, you can get like the little zucchini and like spin the zucchini noodles yourself.
Yep.
The college students, there you go.
You're right. That is true. Do you have anything to close out with? And then I'll give my closing.
I would just say it's definitely like I said, I don't pressure my friends because even my friends who just want to lose weight, I'm like, I had to get to a point in my mind where I was tired of feeling how I feel, looking how I looked, and I wanted to change it. And it took me some time. It took me 23 years to get to the point to say, you know, I'm ready to change. And another thing is, you know, you can't let your family, you know, talk you out of being healthy. Not this didn't happen to me personally, but I hear people, you know,
Right.
family making comments about, oh, you know, you're getting small, or oh, you know,
Yeah.
you're looking kind of thin. And it's like, look, as long as I'm healthy, that's all that matters. So I don't care how little I get. As long as the doctor says I'm healthy,
Right.
that's the thing. So you can't let people dictate your future for you, because at the end of the day, you got to live for you, you know. And it may be too late for grandma, it may be too late for mom and daddy, you know, but you gotta make that conscious decision for yourself. And I tell people all the time, people inbox me and they're like, oh, can you give me this and give me that? I'm like, look, go to Keisha, take a class, and then, you know, if you need some recipes or something like that, I will help you to the best of my ability. But yeah, it's just, you gotta get it into your mind that you're ready for a change. You're tired of feeling how
Right.
you feel. You want to be healthy, you know. So
I was actually gonna say the same thing, but I was gonna say, you can't let people decide what's best for you. Whether there's if you're losing weight and they say, hey, you're getting too small, you need to, gain some back, and make the best decision for yourself. Listen to your doctor, do your research, pray about it, listen to your intuition, because you can't let people decide what's best for you. You can't let them dictate your journey and your future. No matter who you have to lose or what you have to lose, or the friends that go away from it, and even the parts of yourself that you have to lose, the part of yourself that's inconsistent or procrastinating or anything like that. Sometimes you have to shed your dead weight and the dead weight that's attached to you.
that's good. Good.
That's good. We have we had two great people. I'm gonna tell you, from sitting from where I am and watching you two this past year and a half, I mean, it's just amazing. And I know I don't say it enough, but just seeing y'all do this and with the passion that you do it with is just amazing, because a lot of us didn't start thinking about it, like I said, until we were older. Um, and to see you guys do this at a young age, it is very commendable. My hat goes off to you, and especially since you decided to live a healthier lifestyle at a young age. That means that you can break these generational curses. I'll never forget what Samantha told me once, and it was actually when I mentioned to her about kind of watch what she was eating. And this is before she had gained the weight. I was like, kind of, watch what you eat, because it is not in your genes to be this size when we look at both sides of your families. And I will never forget what Samantha told me. She probably don't even remember what she said. And at this time I was on keto. I had been on keto probably for about 6 or 7 months, and I had lost a ton of weight. And she said, well, the way I see it, if I do gain a lot of weight, then keto is pretty easy to do. I'll just go on keto and you'll teach me how to do it, because you just lost a bunch of weight and it looks like you had a lot of fun doing it. I was like, oh my goodness. And it shocked me because I never thought that she was looking at me thinking that this is, oh, that's easy, then I'll just do that. I had to come back to her after the shock wore off and said, one thing that you want to think about is I was lucky that I didn't develop a lot of diseases, dietary illnesses by the time I got there. You may not be as lucky. I said, just wanted to put that in there and make sure you understood that. You may not be as lucky. I was lucky that I didn't have any dietary illnesses by the time I started that. So kudos to you guys for just taking your health seriously and doing it at a time when hardly anyone around you is worried about health. Hardly anyone else around you is trying to figure out or lose any weight or anything like that, but you have done it. And I mean, you've done an amazing job at it as well. So kudos to you. You're impressive. I mean, the people who are around you, I'm sure, look up to you. And I've seen people comment on you on both of your pictures on Facebook, and so they do. I often say, it's crazy, but your transformations will reach and inspire people who won't even know your name. So keep it up.
Good job, Sam.
Right.
Good job, PJ.
All right. So we thank you guys. And again, we will continue the session next week. I do know what we're doing next week, but I will post it a little bit later. And we're just continuing to try to help you guys learn how to do this as a healthier lifestyle. And we want to make sure we're touching on the things that are important to you guys. So we'll continue with that. If you have not hit the subscribe button, please do so. And if you know some young people who may be interested, who may have some illnesses going on, because I'm telling you right now, diabetes in young people is growing at an epidemic rate. The fastest growing obesity rate for children in America is, well, for Americans period, is children ages 3 to 5. So we definitely need to make sure we start doing something. And I always say the thing about children ages 3 to 5 is they don't fix their own plates, nor do they decide what they're eating. So we're doing it. It is definitely us. I was one of them. So share this with some people that young people who you know might want to be interested in it. Needs to live a healthier lifestyle. Kirsten my other daughter had been on high blood pressure meds since high school. So young people need keto too. Young people need to be healthy. Okay. So we appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate both of you for coming on. PJ from joining us all the way, all those miles away. And again, make sure you stop by the boutique when you come home next time. I have a cake with your name on it. Yeah, it'll have your name on it. And I even let you choose whatever one it is. Okay.
Can't wait.
All right. So bye-bye. Thank you guys so much.
See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.